Yeah, I've decided to be, I was listening to something about Google, so I don't know if you guys saw, but there was this big event that happened at Google where I think it was like 28 employees were protesting.
Of
And
course they were.
yeah, and they ended up getting fired from Google. And it just goes to show like a very different status in the, world of, especially in the world of tech, but just in the world of like running a business and running a company. And I honestly I think a lot of it is attributed to Elon Musk at Twitter because he kind of gave everyone the permission to say, hey, if you don't fit in the culture, we're going to get rid of you. And Elon was kind of the first one to really do that. And then all these other companies like, Facebook, Google, et cetera, started doing the same, kind of following suit. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's interesting to see that change in the culture. And one thing I heard about the, kind of Google culture is that they got into like this when business, like the when soon business of like the employees would always, basically hammer, Google, executives with their requests of, do this, this, and this, or else. And Google was like, Google originally was conforming to everything they asked for. And it almost turns into like this hostage situation where you're like beholden to people asking you when and then you delivering on that. And if you don't deliver, then they just scream at you until you deliver. And I feel like,
Wait, hold on. Are we talking about Gen Z employees?
yeah, basically. So, and
Oh,
that
wow.
I think we're going full circle on this pendulum shift of like it got really bad where people would ask when, and then you're just like beholden to delivering on everything they're asking for, on their timeline and their terms. And I think now it's becoming a lot more acceptable to say, we've got our vision, we've got our roadmap, we've got our culture. And if you don't fit in that and all you do is ask for things, then, we'll get rid of you. Simple Game put a you're fired GIF. So
Well, yeah, you don't
yeah,
want, I
and
mean,
Tassner said,
you don't,
"When? Hurry the hell up!" I mean, it's like this when culture has gotten out of hand. So
you
I'm
don't
gonna start
want
getting
a
a little bit
liability.
more. I'm gonna start getting a little bit more harsh about the when soon shit because eventually you just get fed up with it. It's
This
fine to
is,
request things and have feedback, but it gets out of hand.
ha, the cats. Um, yeah, it's also interesting too, because there's a, flip side to all that in terms of these companies, because just was reading an article this morning that talked about how, like, basically the article is about how the labor market is going to, like, what was the word? Whatever. It's going to be a hot mess or just whatever, interesting in 2024 because we're hitting this point of an employment issue, not in terms of not enough jobs, in terms of not enough workers, because you have baby boomers retiring, and then you have like it shows like men in the like working age, and there's like 7 million men in like the working age window that have basically opted out and like just this is our deciding work isn't a thing for
Yeah.
them. And then it talked about a poll and it said like 68% of companies said, yeah, 68% of companies they polled pretty much identified as like the biggest problem they're having is with Gen Z employees causing issues, causing like rifts in the company, causing, whatever. And then lawsuits lawsuits against companies, like employee lawsuits against companies, are like an all-time high. And a lot of those lawsuits are stemming from Gen Z. And it's just like, huh, it's crazy. It's going to be interesting to see how things play out over the next 5, 10 years as the baby boomer generation like really phases completely out of the workforce.
Yeah. I mean, it's
And
we've
they, yeah,
No, we've seen, this major shift of like the younger generation just being super lazy, and then with COVID, I think it kind of exposed everything where, people were like, well, now we don't have to go to the office, so before they were going to the office and just not doing any work. Now they're, not going to the office and not doing any work. So I think COVID kind of exposed all that.
yeah. So, and it's interesting too, because obviously, there's issues with every, demographic, but Gen Z is the first one that grew up with social media, and it was talking about how like the level and percentage of like employees with like mental health disorders is so much higher that like companies are dealing with. Um, and it makes sense. And it said like, you have a generation that grew up spending at least 4 hours a day on social media, and that's like normal. And it's like you're living in this non-reality life because social media is not fucking reality. Um, and it's obviously has its negative impacts,
Yeah, 100%.
which makes a ton of sense. I mean, shit, just even spending time on social media alone, you can be scrolling on your phone, sitting at your, desk, not instead of getting work done. But yeah, it's interesting stuff. It was an interesting article, and it was interesting in regards to like the stats and the polls and all that. And I'm not surprised that employee lawsuits are at an all-time high.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's just gotten to like a, complaint culture where there's always something to complain about.
Yes.
And when people started, which was kind of my point, when, companies like Google and even just people in general started being more open to listening, accepting, and, kind of conceding to complaints, that's when it really started getting out of hand, because the more you let that go on, the worse it gets. Um,
Yeah, indeed.
so
Yeah, and lawsuits are crazy too. Like, lawsuits are up for a bunch of different reasons, and literally one of them was like gender identity. And I'm just like, this is why I don't want to fucking own a company that has any type of sizable amount of employees when you have to worry about crap like that. It's like you're
yeah.
suing me because what? Because someone's calling you him or her? Like, what is happening right now?
It's a funny culture, but I've always been a believer that the pendulum swings. So, the more
Oh
that
yeah.
the more that things get crazy in one direction, the more that they'll swing back to the other. So, I do feel that shift happening where we got to that crazy place of like everything is acceptable, and kids are cats in classrooms, and I think that's coming to an end.
The pendulum always swings, and sadly, it goes from one end to the other, and that's society on a whole.
Yep. Entitlement 2.0, said Jimmy Adams. Yep, 100%. 100%. A lot of entitlement out there, but I'm happy to see. I was actually happy to see that Google news, because I think that the entitlement needs to get cracked down on, and until it does, it's just going to keep running rampant.
What's not running rampant is me trying to post a thread in the threadcast. It just like froze. I don't think my thread posted.
Try
I was messing
refreshing.
with I was messing with Taskmaster too. What a waste.
Um, Yeah, so it's been an eventful week. So last Tuesday we officially went live to open beta for LeoDex. It's been an interesting journey, been a really tough build out for this. Me and the devs have really been just grinding like crazy hours. I think between us, you know, I would say the average hours worked per week since we started LeoDex has easily been over 80 hours between all of us. Um, I one of those weeks I think I worked probably, 100 hours just solely on LeoDex. And I know
All
the
right there,
devs are
Elon.
I know the devs are clocking that kind of time as well. It's been a, sleep under your desk type of moment. So, um, it's been wild, but we've built something that I think for most projects would take 6 months plus, and we've built it in just a handful of weeks, and I'm really proud of the team for that, and I think it goes to show how capable we are and how much we've grown as a team, compared to the past and building things before. Our pace of building is extremely fast, and building things from the ground up gives us a really, kind of clean insight into how to build, great products. And Liquidity or Morty. I don't know which one to call you now. Said, gotta switch to the YouTube stream to see Cal's dark eye circles. Yeah, I have not been sleeping very much the past couple weeks, but um, I think we were in like a full sprint mode for LeoDex, and the reason why, I feel such a haste when it comes to building it out, there's a couple reasons why, but one of the big ones is that I think this multi-chain DEX future is really taking shape in real time. I think the sprint to the market to get a thing like LeoDex, fully operational and working really well. It is now. Like it's time to roll this out and get it fully up. And I just see this cross-chain Dex battle kind of heating up. So I really want LeoDex to be, I think we can easily be the number one exchange interface on Maya protocol. And I think that as we integrate the other protocols like Chainflip and Thorchain and others that may pop up in the future, and really turn LeoDex into just that multi-chain aggregator, I really see the volume just picking up to an immense amount, and the flywheel of earning affiliate fees, using the affiliate fees to buy Leo and permanently pooling them in that Leo cacao pool is really incredible to think about. So I think that when you start to what really needs to happen is just a little bit of volume. Once that flywheel kind of gets kicked off with the volume, you'll start to just see, volume comes in, affiliate fees are earned, liquidity deepens, more volume comes in, and it just keeps going and going and going. Um, it's really the first product that I think we've ever built that has the potential to generate very scalable revenue. Uh, and I think that's really important. Not just for the Leo ecosystem, but for the whole Hive ecosystem. It's bringing capital in from the outside, bringing value in from the outside, capturing that value has always been an important idea to me. And I think Hive in general could really benefit from that. And the fact that we've built LeoDex out and now have the Hive aggregator working and being able to do Maya L1 swaps is really powerful. So if you guys haven't used the LeoDex UI, I highly recommend just playing around with it, even with small amounts. But I think since last Tuesday, we've pushed about 30 to 40, different bug fixes and features, just in the past 7 days. So, we did this big bugathon last week, and we kind of just tried to figure out everything that wasn't working, and we basically got this big document that Eric worked on, and Nifty and a couple of other testers kind of built out this large document of all the things that weren't working, and we just kind of worked through the whole document. And I think we're down to there's 6 items from that document left to fix. So we should probably have all of them fixed today. So, I think LeoDex has gotten a lot more usable. I've been using it the past, pretty much all weekend and wasn't having I didn't run into any bugs. So it's definitely gotten a lot better, and it's going to continue to get better. And then we're going to continue to add more integrations and features. So right now, one of the devs is working on the 6 bugs I just mentioned, and one of the other devs is working on adding XDEFI, which has been a little bit more complicated than we expected. But yeah, hopefully XDeFi will be up there very soon. And then after that, we will be finishing the other side of the Hive route, which is to be able to buy Hive using any L1 token on Maya. And then once we get that done, so we're going to do XDeFi and throughout all this, continue our bug fixes as well. We've got someone basically just dedicated to the bug fixes for LeoDex. So while we do that, we're going to get XDeFi, then we're going to get the other side of Hive swaps working. So then you'll be able to go back and forth. And then after that, we're going to add SPS and DEC to the Hive aggregator. We'll do HBD after. I've kind of decided to focus on SPS and DEC first. I think that Splinterlands could bring a lot of volume and a lot of adoption to LeoDex, even more so than HBD. So, I want to see that, kind of take place and start to mature. So we're working with the Splinterlands team to get that going. And I think they're going to be providing liquidity maybe to the, I sent them a message about it today, so we'll see what they say, but they might be providing liquidity to the Leo Swap.Hive pool, which I know Taskmaster has been talking about a lot this week. And like I've mentioned, the the Hive swaps and anything that happens with the Hive aggregator, so that includes SPS, DEC, and HBD. Um, Anything that's swapped through that Hive aggregator, it's swapped through the Leo Swap.Hive pool and the Leo CACAO pool. So the liquidity depth of both pools is extremely important. So basically the slippage will be determined by the lowest liquidity pool out of those two. So like right now there's like $35,000 in the Leo Swap.Hive pool, and there's like 105,000 in the Leo CACAO pool. So we need to see both of those pools grow in terms of liquidity in order to see bigger and more scalable Hive swaps. Not just Hive, but like any Hive asset. So like Hive, HBD, SPS deck. So we need both those pools to grow. And like I said, this all has a really nice flywheel because as swaps happen on especially on the, with the Leo CACAO pool, all the affiliate fees and swaps, which is there's like a swap fee on the Leo CACAO pool, and that gets permanently pooled. So, that creates its own flywheel there. And then I think, we haven't really officially said this, but the current plan is that the Arbitrum Leo wrap and unwrap fees are gonna just go towards the Leo Swap.Hive pool on Hive Engine. So that creates a flywheel because then any swap, basically you pay a wrapping fee, and that wrapping fee creates a flywheel for the permanent liquidity on the Leo Swap.Hive side. And then on the other side for LeoDex, the affiliate fee is creating permanent liquidity for Leo CACAO. So any swaps on the Hive aggregator creates permanent liquidity for both pools simultaneously. So we really need to see volume pick up. And like I said, once you get a small amount of volume, it's like getting a little ember in a fire, and you can just cultivate that ember. So it's just about getting a little bit of volume going to get that flywheel moving. And then that movement, that momentum will keep deepening those two pools, and then you just see the volume and the potential volume continue to scale up.
I am surprised that everyone can hear you
Why?
on spaces. I don't know,
Can you not
because
hear me?
I can hear you because I'm hearing you through. Well, I'm here. I thought I'm hearing you through Zoom. I assume people are hearing you through spaces. I don't know. You usually mute on spaces, or
No, I just mute my audio input from Zoom, so I can't hear you from Zoom. I can only hear you from Spaces.
yeah, that makes sense. Wait, yeah, okay. I'm not. I guess I'm not used to your mic showing as muted on spaces. I thought it usually doesn't.
It doesn't show muted on Spaces.
Oh, it is for me. That's weird. All
Huh.
right, never mind.
Well, if you guys can't hear me
UI
somewhere, let me know. I would
UI
assume we would
fun.
have heard from them if they couldn't, though.
No, that's what I'm saying. Everyone probably hears you no problem.
I think Simple Game said, I think the inbound to Hive will help volume. I have capital on the sidelines for it, and I think others do too. I agree. I think and I also think there's another big piece of that, which is arbitrage. Like right now, I've basically been watching because we can do Hive outbounds, but we don't have Hive inbounds added to LeoDex yet. And like I said, that should be live very soon. And once you have both sides, so like right now we only have one side. Once you have that other side, you'll be able to see arbitrage go both ways. So like anytime that there's an opportunity for arbitrage from the Hive outbound side, I've been taking advantage of it, which means I've just been doing a swap of Hive to like Rune or something. Because basically when the pools get imbalanced, when the Leo pool on Hive engine and the Leo pool on Maya get imbalanced, you can do a Hive swap across the aggregator and you can get really good pricing. So like sometimes you can actually, make a profit for example, if you want to sell 100 Hive to like 8 Rune, whatever the current conversion rate is. you can actually make a profit on that swap despite all of the fees in between. And the reason for being able to make a profit is because the Leo pool on Hive Engine would be priced slightly cheaper than the Leo pool on Maya. So that means that when you go across the aggregator, you're buying Leo slightly cheaper on the Hive side, and then you're selling it slightly more expensive on the Maya side. So you're basically doing an arbitrage, by using that Hive rail. And right as of right now, the you can do the reverse, but you have to like do a bunch of steps. Like you have to, you have to essentially buy Leo with something that, some other asset on Maya. Then you have to unwrap the Leo to Hive Engine and then sell it there if you want to do the reverse arbitrage. But once we have the Hive route enabled on the other side, the Hive inbound, you'll be able to do arbitrage going both ways. And I think that will see a lot more volume pick up just from arbitrage alone. And then, like I said, I've said this a couple of times, any swap, any $1 that is swapped on the Hive rail creates $2 worth of Leo swap volume because you eventually see that arbitrage come back around. So it's pretty powerful, kind of exponentials but like I said, you have to see some volume kind of pick up because if you multiply zero by, any number, you get zero. So volume needs to pick up and then we'll see that kind of continue to grow. But yeah, I think Simple Game's right. Once that other side, the inbound route is opened up, I think we'll see a lot more volume for a lot of reasons. I think another thing that we'll see more volume is adding more wallet options, especially XDEFI. I think there's a lot of people that use XDEFI that are sitting on the sidelines and currently not using LeoDex. Um, and LeoDex was just officially announced to the Maya community yesterday. So the Maya team put out a blog post announcing LeoDex to their community, and I was asking them to hold off a little bit until we could do a bunch of those bug fixes because I want their first interaction with LeoDex to be like a good one. I want them to see that, it might not be perfect and really none of these UIs are perfect. Even if you look at ThorSwap, there's plenty of issues even with ThorSwap that you might run into if you use it a lot. So, a lot of the people in this ecosystem, in the cross-chain ecosystem, understand how complicated all this cross-chain stuff is, and they're willing to give you a little bit of leeway to say like, things aren't always perfect, but at the same time, you want them to be as close to perfect as possible. So that is really the goal, is to be the most friendly, easy to use, and best looking UI on Maya. That's the goal. And then obviously to see that volume pick up and see us kind of take that number one spot for monthly trading volume, which would mean if we took the number one spot for monthly trading volume on Maya, that would mean that our affiliate fees are in the realm of like $20,000 a month, which means that $10,000 a month would be buying Leo and then pairing it with the other 10,000 as CACAO and permanently pooling it. So that's 20,000, right? And right now that's 20% of the current Leo CACAO pool depth. So you can see how crazy those numbers kind of get if we see the volume pick up. And I think it was Morty, but I saw someone ask what our current status is on the interface wars for Maya. It depends on which metric you're looking at. In terms of swap count, we're actually already number 5. We have 332 swaps in the past 30 days, and obviously we haven't even been live for 30 days. In terms of swap volume, we're number 8. Our swap volume is kind of pitiful. I really want to see that pick up. And like I said, I think the adding that Hive route is going to be big. Adding XDEFI is going to be big since a lot of Maya people use it. And then the swap fees we've earned. I don't know why, but Maya Scan actually doesn't show it correctly. It says $9. It's actually $90. So I don't know why it's like off. But yeah, the swap fees we've earned have been relatively low so far, at just under $100. But like I said, we've been in open beta for 1 week, and we just got announced to the Maya community yesterday. So, I want to see this volume pick up. So you guys should start considering LeoDex for more of your swaps. If you typically use a centralized exchange for swapping, let's say that you have Hive that you want to sell. If you typically use a centralized exchange, I would definitely recommend quoting out a Hive swap on LeoDex, and seeing if you can get, as good of a price or close to it, sometimes even a better price than a centralized exchange, because it's also faster, easier to use, in my opinion. And like I said, a lot of times you can get actually like a better quote price using LeoDex than using a centralized exchange. And I think this is going to be, if we see a lot of liquidity in the Leo Swap.Hive pool and the Leo Cacao pool, we actually could really beat centralized exchanges in terms of pricing dynamics and efficiency. And one of the big reasons why is that centralized exchanges with Hive have very bad order book liquidity. So like if you want to buy or sell a large amount of Hive on the order books of a centralized exchange like Binance or MEXC or whatever, it's actually pretty difficult. Like I've had a lot of difficulty buying even 10,000 Hive on MEXC, for example. And a big reason for that is just that the order books don't have good liquidity. So if we see our liquidity in those two pools really build up, um, it could have a really profound impact on the ability to buy and sell Hive.
Yeah, that'll be super, super useful because I mean, like you
And
said, it is a bit of a chore right now to
yeah, it's a
craft Hive.
chore from a time perspective, from a price perspective, and then also MEXC, there's kind of some news circulating that they're going to start requiring KYC. So MEXC will be
Yep,
lost. Uh,
that pop-up keeps every time I hypothetically log in, we get that pop-up. So yeah, at some point, MEXC might be lost. I think it'll be a little while, but yeah, clearly there's an expiration date. Like the ticker is on the time bomb. It's not, when, it's just it's not if, it's when. So that kind of
yeah,
sucks because I know a lot of people use that obviously to get in and out of Hive. Um,
I have some big
the
news that just happened. Um,
Okay, well then
some
hit
great
that because then we
news.
got questions stacking up.
Cool. Taskmaster is going to be extremely happy. So Yaba P Matt, we can all send him some thanks for this. The
Oh, it sounds like
Splinterlands
they're in.
team just put about $70,000 in the Leo Swap.Hive pool on Hive Engine. So that pool now has more liquidity than, look at how quick that the tides turn. That pool now has more liquidity than the Leo Cacao pool. Um,
Is that why there's 321,000 SwapHive in liquidity now? I'm
yep,
looking at the SwapHive LEO on BSwap.
yep.
I think it was More T posted a link or someone posted a link. So it made it easy. It's like they knew. That's funny. I didn't realize that yeah, I just assumed that's how it was. That's cool. So yeah, they literally added two-thirds, like there was,
They just
yeah, I can do
tripled.
math.
I mean, they basically
Yeah,
just
they
tripled.
tripled it. They
Yeah.
tripled the liquidity. So I have a question though. Like that's obviously always a good thing, but why is this good again? We need that liquidity there because that helps for LeoDex.
So whenever a trade is routed, Taskmaster said, fuck, my position just went from 2.5% to 0.8% in terms of his
You just
ownership in
got
that pool.
owned.
He just got owned.
Yeah, no, that's right. Because when you're going from, let's say, Bitcoin to Leo, the SwapHive Leo pool comes in. That piece comes in. I'm just thinking about the Maya side. So yeah, that's the Hive side. Yep. Nope, I'm good. My brain just blanked for a minute.
Yeah, so yeah, exactly. So anytime a trade is routed through the Hive aggregator, it has to go through swap.hive Leo and Leo Cacao. So
Which Simi asks, where can we find information on diesel pools and liquidity on Hive? And are there any posts that explain that? Well, I mean, looking at the pools on BSwap is useful because you can see the liquidity. Um, as far as posts, I don't know. Has anyone done any kind of tutorials on like diesel
um
pools?
I'm sure there's been some tutorials out there. I'm sure there's been some. I
And then
the B I posted a link to the B swap pools link, and then Um, there's also the tribal decks one.
I've been like, I'm not
So
gonna
that
lie,
gives
I
a little
kind of
more
like,
info.
I remember I actually used to have liquidity on BSwap and I pulled it at some point because I don't even remember why. I just was like trying to like tighten all my stuff and I'm like, what am I doing? What is the point of this? What am I earning? But yeah, I mean, I have Hive and Leo that I can certainly throw in there. So Maybe we'll put it back. At the end of the day, what do you earn? You earn BXT tokens? Is that like pretty much how you earn yield?
I don't think you earn BXT anymore. I think that was an
Oh,
earlier thing. You might.
okay, yeah,
I'm
that's
not
how long I've been
100%
out of it.
sure. But
Task, what do you earn?
you earn there's a 1/4% swap fee on every swap, and that goes to LPs, just like every other pretty much every other AMM.
Yeah, I'm just curious how it's distributed. If I get it in Hive or
Oh, it compounds in your position. So with
oh, perfect.
yeah, with automated market makers, there's that 1/4% swap fee, and it comes into your LP position automatically as whatever you're pooling. So like if you're pooling Leo Swap.Hive, then you're basically earning Leo and Hive at the same time for being an LP. And same goes if you're in Leo CACAO. So
Got it.
yep.
Cool.
Wow. Yeah, I'm
This
extremely happy
stuff
about what
going
just
well.
happened.
Yeah,
And it
that's
just happened
awesome.
while we
I
were live.
mean,
So you love to
that's
see
huge
that.
liquidity on the Splinterlands
Really,
team.
really hugely important for Leo and LeoDex, what just happened from the Splinterlands team. So you love to see it. And you know, and I guess I haven't announced this anywhere
So
publicly, but my goal is that SPS and Deck are live inside of 7 days on LeoDex. I'm pushing the
nice.
team really hard for that right now.
So Simple Game asked a good question because he said, so now should we deploy to the Leo Cacao LP? Always try to deploy to the lower one. Like uh, because I mean there's way less liquidity on the Leo Cacao compared to the Hive um Leo pool now, right?
Well, no, now they're actually about equal, but it
Oh,
was
word.
very imbalanced.
Okay.
Yeah, there's 105,000 in the Leo cacao pool, and there's 109,000
Look at
now.
this.
So,
Six figures both ways.
yep. And that the importance of that is like hard to even, explain without having like a
Now we
spreadsheet in front of you. But
gotta tack on one more zero.
yeah, the weakest link in that chain of the Swap.Hive Leo and the Leo cacao pool is what determines the slippage when you try to sell or buy Hive or any Hive asset on LeoDex. So the fact that that pool just tripled in liquidity is going to make bigger Hive swaps possible right off the bat.
Now you can do huge Hive swaps. It's gonna
Yeah,
be huge.
I mean, I'm quoting a Hive swap right now for, let's see, 3,000 Hive. You can do relatively, that's $1,000, relatively low slippage for it. Obviously not ideal slippage, but relatively low for that large of an amount.
Um, there's so many threads. I'm losing the questions that I wanted to touch on. Hmm. That is oh, Tokenized Society asked, any news on the volume-based airdrop? Also, are you still planning on that regressive fee model based on Leo stake? I'm actually curious about the volume-based airdrop as well.
Yeah, I will announce the details of that in the Sooniverse.
Okay, so it's going to
It's
be a
not
thing.
live
It's just,
yet. It's not live yet.
yeah, all good.
Yeah, I'm waiting for us to have, when we have XDEFI added,
That
SPS
makes
deck.
sense.
Yeah, exactly. Because
Yes.
I don't want to already, kind of
Because, yeah,
reject people that could potentially be using the
no,
UI. So you know what I mean?
100%. You got to
So
wait till at least XDeFi, if not that MNMS. Because the reality is, like, me personally, just as an example, like, I know I'm going to do more volume once XDeFi is live. Like, I use the key store and all, but like I send shit directly to that. Like I can just connect to my XDeFi and work with my assets in there, easy peasy, instead of doing that extra step. And it just makes you more prone. Like accessibility is a big piece of people doing, because it's just like, oh, you know what, this is simple. Let me just do this real quick, as opposed to like, oh, I want to swap some, and it's like, I don't really need to right now. I don't feel like doing that extra step. I don't have time. I'm out.
yep.
So, um, what is it?
Yeah,
Simple Game
Taskmaster.
said,
This is really funny because um Taskmaster earlier in this threadcast, let me find it real quick.
well, you find that I'm gonna Simple Game said I use Simple Swap IO a ton, but changing it all over to LeoDex.
Love to see that. You love
Bro,
to
I'm
see
the
that.
worst. I didn't even fucking know Simple Swap was a thing. Cat's been focused on real estate this year. He needs to make money. Although bull market in coming, crypto money coming soon.
Hopefully. So Taskmaster put out a thread 34 minutes ago in the Threadcast, and he said Diesel pool 176,000 Leo, Maya pool 475,000 Leo, over 650,000 Leo between the two. And now, just 30 minutes later, he posted an update. Diesel pool 515,000 Leo, Maya 476,000 Leo, almost 1 million Leo in the pools. So we have almost doubled the amount of Leo in the two pools. Uh, thank you to the Splinterlands team and Matt
Noise,
specifically.
noise.
So you love to see that. It's just crazy how fast something can change. But you love to see it. I hope that means that we see a lot more Hive volume, and I think it will, especially when that other side, like I said, when that other side of the Hive route opens up, that's when you're going to
But
really see it kind of
but I don't want to
manifest.
sell Hive yet. It's down again. I wanted to sell it up at like 60 cents, but it never got to.
Well, then you can
I'm not
buy
even
it.
lying. I was ready. I was ready to sell some Hive on LeoDex to 60 cents. We were at like 49.50. I'm like, oh yeah, here we go. I'm gonna take some off. And then boom, crypto sold off. More so the alts. Bitcoin did not sell off as much as the alts, which is why Bitcoin dominance is on the rise. Oh my God, come on, threads load. Trying to keep up. Does that pool affect the Maya side? No, it does not. It is only on Hive Engine.
Right.
But it
But
is
it can
helpful when
affect,
people,
yeah,
yeah, it can affect swaps because people that are buying and selling Hive, you need the liquidity on Hive Engine for
exactly.
that last leg of the piece or
Exactly.
first leg, depending on which direction you're going. Um, but yeah, no, honestly, the fact that I can sell Hive on LeoDex directly for other crypto is awesome because I've been waiting for that day forever and ever and ever because, um, you know, as much as I interact on the Hive blockchain, mainly through INLEO, um, I don't really stack Hive. I have enough to do the things I need to do and have enough to do delegations. But outside of that, I've been stacking Leo, not Hive so much. So I will take some Hive income when I can, and now it's 10 times easier to do so. Ooh, I got a question.
So
So at some point you mentioned HBD. So will I be able to actually no, I can just do that on never mind. Can already do it. I'm just trying to figure out ways I can use LeoDex in
will you be able to use HBD for
every
what?
every use case. No, I was just thinking about when flopping Hive to HBD. I mean, obviously
Oh,
you can just
yeah.
do that on
I
diesel
mean,
pools.
you could use the marketplace for that, but um, if you wanted to go, say, from USDT to HBD or HBD to
Yes.
USDT, that will be
Yeah,
possible
that's
with
going to be the
LeoDex.
useful because every single, and you know the struggle. It's like you're trying to put HBD in savings, and it's like, well, how do I get HBD? All right, let me fucking take my Bitcoin, buy Hive, and send Hive in, and put it on the internal market. And then while that happens, price fluctuates, and then sweet, I lost 5% doing this whole process. And it's like, well, I'm earning 20% APR, so I just lost a quarter of my earnings for the year just doing this transaction. So yeah, that's going to be awesome too, to be able to easily get into HBD from directly from other cryptos.
Yep. Keep in
Yes, we'll
mind,
keep on.
Taskmaster said, keep in mind the Leo is going to move back and forth between HE and Maya. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a sloshing effect when swaps happen between Hive Engine and or sorry, when Hive swaps happen on LeoDex, there's a sloshing effect where Leo is moved around on Hive Engine and then it's moved around on Maya, which creates pool imbalances, which ultimately leads to arbitrage. So every time money is swapped on Hive, on the Hive aggregator, you're creating a lot of volume in this Leo Swap.Hive and the Leo Cacao pool, which ultimately leads to more yield for liquidity providers, which ultimately leads to more incentive to provide liquidity. And with all that also being said, there's swap fees for the LeoDex UI, and then there's um, wrapping fees for the Arbitrum Leo Oracle. And both of those, permanently pooling liquidity on both sides creates even more liquidity depth. So it kicks off, you see where that flywheel kind of kicks off as volume gets swapped.
Bill the fees.
Build all of these. Well, and we have this
Huh.
really unique marketing point because other UIs don't do this. Most UIs don't even have their own token, first of all. Um, but other UIs, they basically take the profits from their affiliate fees and they just pocket them or use them for development, whatever. Um, but the LeoDex UI actually uses the affiliate fees it earns to permanently pool CACAO alongside the Leo. So we kind of have this unique marketing point to the Maya community, which is that if they use LeoDex, they're actually supporting the CACAO token liquidity because it's two-sided. So Leo plus CACAO has to go into the pool equally. So ultimately, by using LeoDex, they're actually, their swap instead of their swap fees going to like a team that pockets the money, pays devs, whatever. They're swapping and their fees are going to a UI where it permanently pools the swap fees and the affiliate fees into a Maya-based liquidity pool for CACAO, which is ultimately bullish for CACAO as well. So it's got some really nice it's got some nice impacts going for it, and we should definitely be leveraging that when we talk to Maya community members about why they should use LeoDex.
Mm. Um, the good thing about the Splinterlands edition is because like now when people swap SPS and deck, I mean that's more potential swap fees that goes to buying more Leo and Cacao that adds to the LP.
Yep.
So like
Yeah,
that's
it's
a nice addition. Because
yeah,
like
that was really important for the efficiency of swaps. So I have a feeling that SPS and DEC are going to be the most heavily swapped tokens on LeoDex. That's my
I could see
personal
that.
opinion. I think it's
I could
very
see that.
possible.
I mean, I'm not super well versed in Splinterlands, but I don't know what the experience is to get from, let's say, deck or SPS into, let's just say, Ethereum or Bitcoin. I'm assuming that there's somewhat of a path that is a little more difficult than using LeoDex, but I don't know that. It's just my assumption based on Hive Life, especially directly into like L1s, like literally selling SPS for Bitcoin. Like that's just badass. Blah blah blah. Hmm. We got people saying I need to create more engagement to accumulate more Leo for the eventual upward price action.
Hmm.
What do we
Nice
do?
little
Question:
flywheel
What could
there
be
too.
done? What could be done to encourage Hivens to swap with Leo decks? Oh,
I I think
I
that
feel like
price efficiency and time efficiency are really what will get hivers using LeoDex. We want the product to be superior to centralized exchanges. And like I said, if you time it right, it already is. Um, and it's only going to improve from there. The deeper those pools get.
uh yeah, I love it. We got live beta testing. Ijax posted an error scan Leo decks. When loading a list of available cryptos, I get this error, application error, a client-side exception has occurred, blah, blah, blah. I've tried it on two different browsers and it shows up both times. See the browser
Yeah,
console
try
comment.
refreshing and try again. Sometimes that happens if we get a bad uh, what's it called? Like a bad return from one of the Maya APIs for one of the tokens. But we're working on something where if it returns that rather than giving you an error, it just won't let you use that specific token at that specific time, if that
Hmm.
makes sense.
Yeah. What else do we have? Huh. Brando asked, there's still quite uh, many issues on INLEO, daily errors, pages loading, blah, blah, blah. When can we expect a smoother experience? When's?
Wins, more wins. So
When they
I've
get
said
worked
that
out.
April is a month of only bug fixes on INLEO. Um,
Nice.
and that is the sole focus of April. There's no new features. We may even do it into May as well with maybe minimal features or maybe even no new features, only focused on the user experience and smoothing out the bug fixes. Um, and in this
That's
month we've already pushed, let me see what we got. Last I checked it was like 18 bug fixes. Yeah, we're at 19 bug fixes pushed in April so far. And they're not just minor bugs, there's some of them are, big ones. Um,
well,
so for me, I mean the user experience has already gotten a lot better just
yeah.
in the month of
And
April, and it will continue to do
as
so.
task posted, there's issues everywhere. Apparently quoted something. Wallets linked to Coinbase and Vitalik Buterin have millions stuck in bridge contracts. So apparently everyone's deals with these bug issues in crypto, which makes sense.
Always a bug to be squashed. Um,
I love that people are posting gifs of cats furiously
all the
typing at
cat gifts.
keyboards. Typing at the keyboards like crazy.
Yep.
Live footage from the Threadcast audience. Cat just slapping at the keyboard.
Love to see it. Is it possible
Um,
to include multiple protocols like Maya and some others? Yeah, I would recommend checking out the roadmap for LeoDex. I actually just released it over the weekend. I will link it in the Threadcast now. Um, so in that roadmap, we talk about all the things that are coming for LeoDex. And one of the major ones is adding Thorchain and Chainflip, which are two protocols that are, obviously you guys know Thorchain. I've talked about it a lot. They are two more multi-chain protocols that have different tokens available and different blockchains available. So the future of LeoDex is to be a multi-chain aggregator. We actually kind of already are because we've got Hive and we've got Maya already. And then we'll add Thorchain and we'll add Chainflip. And then in the future, there might be others. So we'll just add all of the things. And then when you go to swap, you actually won't even necessarily know unless you click like for more details, which blockchain and protocol you're routing through. LeoDex will just pick the most efficient route for you when you enter your input output, and then you'll click swap and it'll just do the most efficient route. And on the back end, we'll be earning fees from Maya, Thorchain, Chainflip, and all those affiliate fees will just permanently buy and pool Leo. Um, so, ultimately, seeing a significant amount of volume flow through LeoDex is going to have, the most profound impact on Leo that you can imagine. It's pretty wild to think about. I've spent a lot of time thinking about what the volume could mean. So now our goal really is to just find a way to capture that volume. And it's obviously hard. I mean, it's you're marketing a new product. You're trying to get, product market fit, get people to use it. It's not an easy thing to do, but if we are successful in getting people to use LeoDex heavily for their crypto swaps, you'll see all those fees get collected and buy Leo and perma pool it, which will be, like I said, it'll kick that flywheel off, and you'll just see more and more volume. It's really just about getting that initial volume that's very difficult that we've honestly been struggling with since it's only really been a week, but we haven't seen a ton of volume yet. And it's important that we start to see some.
well, ideally, it'll pick up when XDEFI is available.
Yeah, I think that will have a big impact. That and the other side of the Hive route, SPS, deck, those will all have very profound impacts.
What does it say? Fish asks, can I track the volume traded in different Leo pools?
Yeah, you just go to wherever the pool is and you can track it. So like BSwap, I don't know if BSwap has it. I know that Tribal Dex has a way to see what the pools are doing. And then obviously you can use Maya scan for the Leo Cacao pool. I'll paste the link for the Maya scan one. And then let me see if I can find the Leo one.
Oh, it's funny. Tess posted the diesel liquidity pool providers, SwapHive Leo. Huh. SPS whale number three.
Yeah, so if you go to the Tribal Dex UI and then I just posted a link, go to pools and then you type in Leo, you'll see Swap.Hive Leo, and you'll see the prices. You'll see the total liquidity, 109,000. You'll see the total fees earned, $2,854. You'll see the total volume is $3.1 million. So yeah, you can get all that data there. And then I think if you go, there's somewhere here where it actually tells you what your yield is, I think, on the pool. Well, I guess it tells you how many fees you've earned, but it doesn't calculate the yield for you. But if you can just take, um, you can just take whatever the fee earned amount is and divide it by the dollar value of your liquidity to get the percent APR. Well, that will tell you the percent that you've earned, and then you can calculate out the APR from there. Um, so like mine is telling me that I've earned 2.5%, and I don't think I've been in the pool for that long. So it adds up. It adds up. And with all of this aggregation for the Hive to Cacao side, you got to remember, it's like I said, every dollar worth of volume of Hive is $2 worth of volume for Leo because you have both pools. So, if you start to see Hive volume pick up, the fees that you earn for being an LP in both of the pools is going to immensely increase, exponentially increase from all of the trading volume. Simple game. You told us to
Um,
test with small volumes. I did say that. I did say that. I would say that things are pretty stable now for bigger volumes. I mean, I've started to increase slowly the amount that I've been swapping with. Um, so, that being said, there's still a beta tag on the UI. So maybe before you do a big swap, do a small swap to test. But I would say you could be pretty confident that big swaps are going to be fine. Um,
I got to find a
so
reason to swap. Oh, yeah. I swapped to create so I can get liquidity. So like I swapped Leo for Cacao so I could add to the LP, but I'm not really looking to sell anything at this moment. So I'm like, what do I swap into? I
Yeah, I
guess
mean,
I
like if
could
you ever buy Rune, I've started to buy my
true.
Rune slowly through the UI.
Yeah, it's
So
actually if I want to buy some more Rune, which probably not the worst time. I mean, given that it pretty much did a full round trip and
yeah.
gave it all back. I was
Yeah.
like, son of a gun, we were so close. I had my sets on $12.50 to unload a vast majority. So, so close yet so far.
So close yet so far.
Yeah, there was a hell of a dump in the alts. We shall see when the alt season comes. Because, like I said, Bitcoin dominance is rising. It is at 55%, which is the highest it's been since we came tumbling down towards the end of the last bull market. Um, that's interesting. Daniel Coconut asked how much of this can be done on mobile.
All of it.
Sweet.
Yeah. You just have to log in with the correct blockchain. So like for example, if you're doing it on if you're doing a Hive swap on mobile, I would recommend logging in with Hive Keychain, the app. So go to the Hive Keychain browser and then go to LeoDex. And by the way, it's listed there as well in the apps. If you go to the apps section of Hive Keychain, it has all the ecosystem apps for Hive. LeoDex is listed there as of yesterday. And So you go to LeoDex and then you sign in with Hive and you either create or sign in with the key store if you have it on your mobile device. And then you're signed in with your key store plus Hive keychain, and then you can just do the swaps normally. And it all works really well.
Nice. I know you got a wrap, so
Yeah.
I saw someone ask about Bitcoin halving. So I think we can close with that. So the halving came and went on Friday, pretty
Yep.
uneventful.
420.
Yeah. Well, no, it actually happened on 4/19. It happened Friday at like 8, between 8 and 9 p.m. Because I remember like literally going back to my computer because I thought it was going to happen around 9-ish and it had already happened. I was like, oh shit. So Friday night having created zero volatility, not that it's supposed to. And since then, Bitcoin has creeped up slightly off the near-term lows. But yeah, I don't know. We shall see if we get a similar experience as prior halvings where we see higher prices the rest of this year.
Yeah, I mean,
That
I
would
think a
be,
big part of it is like it's kind of a non-event. And then, slowly you start to see the price creep up, and then, you kind of have that takeoff moment. But I never believed that it was like the happening happens and now we're at the moon. I don't think it's really
yeah,
ever been
exactly.
that way either.
Nope. But we shall see if this is just like all the others and we have a post-halving increase in Bitcoin over the next 6 months.
Hopefully,
Fingers crossed.
fingers crossed. I hope for it.
What did Cat, did you miss the 40 BTC block reward on block 840,000 LOL and all the blocks after that runes? I was looking into that rune stuff because people are posting about it on Twitter in terms of your next 100x play runes on Bitcoin. I'm like, what? I got to learn what this is. And it's funny, it's called runes. It's like, well, that's just confusing.
Yeah, I don't know if that is.
Teach me the ways of the force addicted.
Um,
Share it in Discord. Feel free to DM me or just share it to the public. I was digging into some of that. I'm trying to find things to gamble on that I can wanna 100x my money on. But cool. All right.
I'm waiting
Well,
for yeah, I'm waiting for the final thing, and then good to go. But I'm waiting for confirmation that tomorrow we will have a chain chatter, possibly with JP Thor, who's really influential in Thorchain. So we may have that. I'm just waiting for confirmation on his schedule. Um, but if we do, it will be noon Eastern tomorrow. Chain chatter with probably one of the most influential people in the, definitely top two or top three influential people in the Thorchain ecosystem. One of the, core contributors, since the beginning of Thorchain. So that will be a huge episode. So I would say it's like more than 80% likely, but just waiting for confirmation. And that will be, if we do, it will be about Rune Vault, which is one of the upcoming features on Thorchain, one of the things that everyone's talking about. So tomorrow,
dude,
possible, noon Eastern.
you want to get something funny?
What?
Apparently, I still have liquidity. But it's I have liquidity in SwapHive deck and SwapHive sim. That's funny.
That's awesome. What is it, like $1 million?
Well, I wish it was like $600, but
That's still pretty
I
good.
can I can move that into SwapHive Leo.
Love to see it. You love to see it.
Sorry, deck people. I'll just hold my deck and let it sit there and marinate instead of earning. Cool. Anyway, that was
Sweet.
random.
So
See you
possibly see you guys
guys.
tomorrow, noon Eastern.
Yes. And then I will see you all Tuesday
Sounds good. Thanks, Mitch. Thanks,
for
everybody.
LeoDex. Let's go.
Yep, let's pick up that volume. Start swapping your hive.
Peace out.
See ya.